Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to look at the WZ121. Yes, the 121, and we are going to give it a full review. So, the 121, a Chinese tier 10 tank. Now, this, if you want to know, is the equipment that I run. Now, you've got calibrated shells. It just pumps that heat pen above the 300, and also I do run it with the enhanced armor, and the you've got here the V-stabs, which makes the aiming time very good. Or you can run it with the refined gun and just have a little bit more dispersion, because the aim time is already really good, so you don't really need to make it much better, but it is totally up to you. So the turret armor on this thing is 240 millimeters. The hull is 125. So you're not going to bounce too much on your hull, but the turret is very strong. Your DPM is 3,199. Now again, that is with me running calibrated shells. So if you run it with the rammer, you can get that up a few hundred more. So the reload is 7.8 seconds. You've got a 257 AP pen, which we've already seen with the 319 heat, with calibrated shells, and of course 75 on your HE. You have a 420 alpha gun, which is very nice. It used to have 400, but Wargaming gave it the 420, so that upped the DPM just a little bit more. So 370 on your heat and 500 on your HE. Aim time is 2.4 seconds, which is very good, and the dispersion with the equipment is 0.301. It does, however, only have 6 degrees of gun depression, which isn't the best, but it is better than it used to be. It used to have about 3. It used to be, when this tank was first introduced to the game, it was pretty much the worst tier 10 tank to ever be introduced to tier 10. Like, it was awful, very bad. But over the years, it has become a more enjoyable drive. It is a nice tank, very nice tank, but you really need to go hull down, because you haven't got the DPM that the other mediums have got. You don't have any hull armor. If you come up against tanks like E50 and E50M, sorry, then you will get bullied, because they have got very good armor for what they are, and you don't have that much armor. You do have armor on your turret, of course, but to get the bounces, I mean, here, look, we bounced one, of course, but we're not getting any bounces because the hull just isn't good enough. The hull is not good at all. So yeah, it used to be very poor. So we have managed about 660. Luckily, we bounced out, otherwise we would be dead right now. And there we go, we have bounced another one. So right now, we haven't done too well, although we have managed to bounce just over 1,000 damage so far. We're only on 1,700 damage. But yeah, it's more of a ridgeline tank. You do have that aim time. The aim time is very good. So if you do stop and aim, the reticle there does go down very quickly. So the dispersion, of course, isn't the best, but it's not bad. Again, it's not bad at all. Definitely worth the grind. The 121 is definitely worth the grind. It's not, I wouldn't say it is the best. It's the best medium. There are plenty of mediums in tier 10 that are very good. Better DPM, better accuracy, not as much better aim time, because this aim time is one of the best in the game, pretty much. It's very nice. So yeah, you need to utilize the turret armor. You don't have any gun depression, which sucks when it goes to trying to go hull down, because you can't really get your shots out. You've got to expose your tank a lot longer than you would hope for. So we're just going to go around here, and again, you can bully those tanks with your DPM, the tier 9s or the heavies, because you still have good DPM for what your tank is. You've got to remember, you're a medium tank with a heavy gun. You're doing 420 alpha, which means most of your shots will hit above the 400 mark, which we've just seen there. 466 every 7 seconds, which is very nice. I think the worst problem about the 121 is not even so much the tank, it is the grind from tier 9, because the 120, even though it has been buffed over the last sort of few months, it still isn't the best, and it is one of the worst tier 9 tanks in my opinion. Other people might think differently. People with degrees of gun pressure, stuff like that, doesn't have fantastic DPM. But yeah, that's pretty much, for me, that's the worst thing about the 121 is the tier 9 grind. And not just the tier 9 really, the line itself, the whole line isn't the best of grinds. You know, there are better medium grinds, the T62 for example, where you've got the T54, the T44. It's not a bad line. The E50M, okay, the E50 is okay, but yeah, I think this, when it comes to mediums, is in my opinion one of the worst medium lines to grind overall. But when you get to the tier 10, it definitely is worth the it's definitely worth the grind. But again, to make it worthwhile, you do have to get into that position where you can bounce the shots. And just look at this aim time. When you're aimed in, look how quickly that circle goes down, and that is very, very nice with the tank. But yeah, the gun depression, the 6 degrees of gun depression, even though it's much better than it was, it still is a pain when you are going hold down in certain situations, because you just can't get the gun down enough, and you do have to go above. So you're showing more of your tank than you would really hope for. So we're going to watch this game. Pretty decent game, to be honest. It's one of those games where it's a patient game. I'm not going to rush too much. And again, that is what you need to do with this tank. It is no T62, or it's no Object, or it's no T22. It is a patient tank that you can't just rush in. You don't have the reload. If you rush into the medium tanks, yes, you might come off best, but you're going to lose a lot of hit points, just like we see in the first game. Like, I come up against the 2 guys. Yes, I stayed alive, but I lost a lot of hit points trying to deal with those guys, and that was a lucky situation where I didn't die. But most other situations, you will die. You will die. So hit point trading early on is definitely not something that you should do in this tank. Just, you know, take it easy, be patient, go with your other mediums. And if you can get those HE shots off, of course, do that, because, again, you've got a heavy gun. You're a medium tank with a heavy gun that could do upwards of sort of 520. I mean, there, 437. You see a high roll earlier with 525. And that is against those... and you're in a medium, you're in a medium doing 525 damage. There isn't many mediums that can do that. Of course, you've got the FE402 that can do that kind of damage. So yeah, it's definitely worth the grind. The grind is just not as exciting as some of the other mediums, but we're going to just talk about this game and how I am being very patient, because I've lost a little bit of hit points so far. And again, look at that, 482, which is a very, very nice roll. Now, I don't really want to hit point trade with a Yag Tiger. Now, I'm going to try to bait the shot, and I thought, you know what, I do then just completely mess it up. And I only messed it up because I thought this guy's shot. I thought the Yag Tiger shot, which is why I come out. So now I've literally just lost all those hit points for no reason whatsoever. So now I'm down to a 2-shot. I want to back up. I know there's a Death Star around. I know the AMX 30B is causing issues, and of course there is that Yag Tiger, and it's a 4 versus 6 at this moment in time. A 4 versus 6. We've got one medium tank, I believe, or heavy tank, sorry, not medium tank. That is by base C. You've got of course the tank destroyer there as well, but I do also have a tank destroyer helping me, and he's going to prove to be absolutely vital. So there goes the 60 TP. So it is now a 4 versus 5. We do have base A. So I'm just going to sit around this map only because I want the AMX 30B. I was hoping the AMX 30B would actually come up. Now, we do get very lucky because that AMX 50B right there is in fact AFK. But right now, I don't know he's AFK. We don't know. We don't play as if we know he's AFK. And here comes the Death Star. So, of course, I am a one-shot to this Death Star. So taking him out is very, very important. So there goes the Minotauro. It is now a 3 versus 4. Where is this 30B? Well, we know he's now behind because of the mini-map. So I really want to take care of this Death Star. But, of course, I don't want to poke so much. much because he could actually clear me with a HE shell. But I can see I do bounce, but we do make him miss, so we can poke forward and use that aim time, get the shot off. But now I'm really not, I don't want to poke out to get that other shot. So there is another bounce. So there's actually our first bounce of this game. So again, because we haven't got the tank into the position where it is best to be at, we're not going to bounce the shots. If you're on a ridge and you're only showing your turret, then of course you will bounce a lot of things to come your way. But yeah, I just want to back up now. I want to be very patient, and the reason I'm being very patient is because we do have that base A, and there is 2 tanks on a one-shot. I think the Yag Tiger or whatever that is, yeah, the Yag Tiger we know is a one-shot as well, and we've already heard in the chat the AMX is AFK. So if I can just stay alive, here we do get lucky that he was looking at us, so we do manage to take him out. So it is now a 3 versus 3. The AMX is a one-shot, the Yag Tiger is a one-shot, but I am now a one-shot as well. So I just want to get my aim time, and again, look at that aim time. Absolutely brilliant aim time there, and if it wasn't for this aim time, I wouldn't have been able to get that shot off on the Yag Tiger because he was just about to drop down. But because thanks to the lovely aim time of this tank, we do manage to get that shot off. So now we're on 4.9k damage. We're just about to win on Supremacy Point 1. There goes the AMX 30B. Now, fair play to that guy. He's been running around the map all game long, and he's actually made it difficult for us. And now with 960 supremacy points, I want to get to this AMX 50B. I want to get as much damage to this AFK as I physically can. So I am a bit stupid here. Well, actually I'm not. I thought he was facing behind. So because he's facing this way, I'm unable to get the HE into him. And when we get 1,000 supremacy points, I do manage to get a lovely high roll. And the Death Star is shooting Hesh, and he does manage to clear him at least. So we didn't waste any hit points whatsoever. So being very patient that game, we do manage to get 5,900 damage. We do get a little bit of assistance as well, but we didn't really get any block damage. But the 121 is a very, very nice tank, and definitely worth the grind. Let me know your thoughts on the WZ 121.